Welcome to another video where we'll be discussing the previous year GATE questions asked from the chapter Runoff and Hydrograph. So let's get into the questions. The first question that we'll handle today was asked in the year 2004. This question में, as you can see, the rainfall during 3 successive 2-hour periods are given. ठीक है, तो आपका यहाँ पे 3 successive 2 years period में कितना रेनफॉल है आपको दिया हुआ है, right? So what is the total precipitation? Total precipitation is equal to 0.5 plus 2.8 plus 1.6. Okay, that means 4.9 सेंटीमीटर. और ड्यूरेशन क्या है आपका? ड्यूरेशन इज ये है 3 successive 2-hour periods. मतलब this rainfall is for 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. It means 6 hours. Then your surface runoff is given to you. So surface runoff R. R is equal to 3.2 centimeter. Okay. You have to calculate the phi index. Phi index का वैल्यू जो है हमें कैलकुलेट करनी है. So what is phi index? Phi index is equal to P minus R divided by TE. Precipitation minus runoff divided by effective duration of effective rainfall. ठीक है? So it will be 4.9 minus 3.2 divided by 6 for the first trial. ठीक है? जिसमें आपका वैल्यू होगा it will be 0.28. ठीक है? Now अब यहाँ पे अगर हम लोग चेक करेंगे तो फर्स्ट जो रेनफॉल है दिस पीरियड, इसका इंटेंसिटी, सो इंटेंसिटी इज हाउ मच 0.5 डिवाइडेड बाय 2, क्योंकि 2 घंटे में हुई है 0.5 सेंटीमीटर रेनफॉल. दैट मीन्स 0.25 सेंटीमीटर पर आवर. दैट मीन्स ये जो फर्स्ट जो आवर है, फर्स्ट 2 घंटे, इस ड्यूरेशन में देयर विल बी नो रन ऑफ. So duration during this period there will be no runoff. इस पीरियड में फर्स्ट 2 घंटे में जो प्रेसिपिटेशन होगा दिस इज नॉट गोइंग टू कंट्रीब्यूट इनटू द रन ऑफ. ठीक है, इसका मतलब वी हैव टू डू ए सेकेंड ट्रायल. तो इसका मतलब क्या है? आपका जो टीई का वैल्यू है दैट मीन्स टीई का जो वैल्यू है दैट विल बी ओनली 4 आवर्स. सेकेंड ट्रायल. Okay, so what will be the value of phi? Phi is equal to now effective precipitation. That means ये दो है सिर्फ, क्योंकि इस ड्यूरेशन में आपका कोई रन ऑफ नहीं होगा. Right, so that will be 4.4 minus रन ऑफ जो है that is same 3.2 divided by duration is now your 4 hours. ठीक है, so 1.2 divided by 4 is 0.3 centimeter per hour. 0.3 centimeter per hour, option C. Next question. The average rainfall for a 3-hour long duration storm is 2.7 centimeter and loss rate is 0.3 centimeter per hour. Flood hydrograph has a base flow of 20 meter cube and produces a peak flow of 210 meter cube per second. The peak of 3-hour unit hydrograph is. तो आपको यहाँ पे फ्लड हाइड्रोग्राफ का डिटेल दिया हुआ है. You have to calculate the unit hydrograph. ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम. तो यहाँ पे आपका फ्लड हाइड्रोग्राफ दिया हुआ है. वी नो कि DRH का जो पिक होता है, ओके, सो peak of DRH is equal to what? Peak of flood hydrograph FH minus base flow. ठीक है. So peak of flood hydrograph is given to you 210 meter cube per second minus base flow कितना है 20 meter cube per second. Okay, that means 190 meter cube per second. ये है आपका DRH का peak. ठीक है. What is the peak of unit hydrograph? Peak of unit hydrograph is equal to what? Peak of DRH divided by effective rainfall or runoff, we can write, or what? Runoff. 190 को if we divide by our runoff, then we'll get the peak of unit hydrograph. So what is the value of runoff? Runoff is equal to precipitation, that means 2.7 minus लॉस रेट दिया हुआ है, दैट मीन्स 5 इंडेक्स. सो 0.3 कितना टाइम से रेनफॉल हुआ है? 3 घंटे मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 3, दैट मीन्स 1.8 सेंटीमीटर पर आवर. ठीक है. सो व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ क्यू पीक? दैट इज इक्वल टू 190 डिवाइडेड बाय 1.8, which is equal to 105.5 meter cube per second. Option B. नेक्स्ट 4 आवर यूनिट हाइड्रोग्राफ आपको दिया हुआ है जिसका which is triangular in shape with a base of 80 hours. Similar problem we have previously solved. ठीक है. So unit hydrograph, the base is given, area of the catchment is given, base flow phi index is given. Okay, a storm of 4 centimeter occurs uniformly in the 4 hours over the catchment. The peak discharge of unit hydrograph is the peak discharge of the 4-hour unit hydrograph, or the peak discharge of 4-hour unit hydrograph. ठीक है. So what is the peak discharge of unit hydrograph? So we know कि the area of the unit hydrograph, ठीक है, that means 80 into 3600 into q peak, that is equal to what? Runoff volume. What is the runoff volume? So for unit hydrograph, we know unit hydrograph runoff is how much? Runoff is equal to 1 centimeter. Runoff is 1 centimeter. So what will be the runoff volume? 720 kilometers squared to convert it into meter multiplied by 1 centimeter. 1 divided by 100, converting into meter. So if you solve this, your Q peak will be equal to 50. So this will be option number B. Okay, so similar type question, 4 आवर यूनिट हाइड्रोग्राफ दिया हुआ है आपके कैचमेंट में, सेम थिंग, 80 आवर्स इज योर बेस ड्यूरेशन. ठीक है. बेस फ्लो फाई इंडेक्स सेम. A storm has happened for same question exactly. The only thing is now this time they are asking for the peak flood discharge. ठीक है. They are asking for the peak flood discharge. So we'll start with the previous question. हम लोगों ने क्या कैलकुलेट किया ऑलरेडी? Q peak of यूनिट हाइड्रोग्राफ हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी कैलकुलेट किए, राइट? दैट इज 50 मीटर क्यूब पर सेकेंड. ठीक है. सो नाउ व्हाट इज द पीक ऑफ DRH? हाउ टू कैलकुलेट पीक ऑफ DRH? दिस विल बी व्हाट? पीक ऑफ क्यूब पीक ऑफ यूनिट हाइड्रोग्राफ मल्टीप्लाइड बाय रन ऑफ. ठीक है. एंड व्हाट विल बी द क्यूब पीक ऑफ फ्लड हाइड्रोग्राफ? This is equal to Q peak of DRH plus base flow. ठीक है. So these are the steps. Q peak of unit hydrograph we have calculated during our last problem. DRH you have to multiply by runoff to calculate the Q peak of DRH and then add base flow. You will get the flood hydrograph. ठीक. Now, what is the runoff? So runoff is equal to what? Precipitation. कितना precipitation हुआ है? 4 centimeter precipitation has occurred in 4 hours. That means 4 into 4. This is the precipitation minus what is the loss? 1 mm per hour. ठीक है, phi index is given 1 mm per hour. 1 mm per hour. That means 0.1 centimeter. Okay, kitna time duration? What is the duration of rainfall? 4 hours. So it will be 3 point, oh sorry, 4 hour, total 4 hour rainfall has happened, so it will be 4 only. 4 hour has happened, 4 centimeter rainfall has happened. So 4 centimeter rainfall has happened. 4 centimeter rainfall has happened in 4 hours multiplied by this. That means 3.6 centimeter. Okay, so what is the Q peak now? Q peak of DRH. Q peak of DRH is equal to 50 multiplied by 3.6. Okay, which is equal to 180 meter cube per second. What is the Q peak of flood hydrograph then? 180 plus base flow. Base flow कितना है? 30. 210 meter cube per second. Option number A. Okay, so the next question is, आपको यहाँ पे there is a 3-hour storm event. Okay, it was observed that all obstruction other than infiltration are negligible. तो रेनफॉल हुआ है किसी एक जगह पे जहां से ओनली इन्फिल्ट्रेशन हुआ है, ऑल अदर एब्स्ट्रक्शन दे आर आस्क्ड यू टू नेग्लेक्ट. रेनफॉल कितना हुआ है? 3 आवर में 3 1 hour स्टॉर्म्स हुए हैं किसी लोकेशन में. ओके, विथ इंटेंसिटी 10 mm, 20 mm एंड 10 mm. ओके, इन्फिल्ट्रेशन जो है इट इज गिवन बाय हॉटन्स कर्व, और ये है, दिस इज द इक्वेशन. दे आर आस्किंग व्हाट इज द इफेक्टिव रेनफॉल. तो आपको रेनफॉल का वैल्यू दिया हुआ है, यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द रन ऑफ. ओके, सो लेट अस फर्स्ट सी कि जो आपको इन्फिल्ट्रेशन है, इन्फिल्ट्रेशन इज इक्वल टू 6.8 प्लस 8.7 e टू द पावर माइनस टी. ठीक है, सो व्हेन at t is equal to 0, at t is equal to 0, what is the value of f? F is equal to 6.8 plus 8.7, that means 15.5. ठीक है, mm per hour. F is equal to 0. At f is equal to, at t is equal to 1, f1 is equal to what? 6.8 plus 8.7 e to the power minus 1. ठीक है, e to the power minus 1, and the answer is 10.0055 mm per hour. तो ये मैंने क्यों किया? सी, बिटवीन t is equal to 0 and t is equal to 1, पहले 1 घंटे में रेनफॉल वॉज 10 mm per hour. ठीक है, पहले 1 घंटे में 0 to 1 infiltration was 15, 1 घंटे में infiltration was 10. That means during this duration 0 to 1 there is no runoff, क्योंकि जितना रेनफॉल है, the amount of rainfall is equal to the amount of what? Infiltration. During this duration there is no runoff. Okay, so what will be the value of runoff then? Runoff is equal to precipitation minus what? Infiltration. ठीक है, what is the total precipitation? 20 plus 10, because during first 1 hour there will be no runoff, minus infiltration. अब infiltration कितना होगा total from 1 to 3 hours. ठीक है, क्योंकि first 1 घंटे में there will be no precipitation, no runoff, right? So first 1 hour में there will be no runoff. तो उस period में there is no point of adding it or equating this in, bringing this into the equation. So for the next 3 hours, 1 to 3 hours, next 2 hours, हम लोगों का precipitation minus runoff will precipitation minus infiltration will be a runoff. So during this period total infiltration क्या होगा 8.7 e to the power minus t into dt. That means 30 minus 6.8 e 1 to 3, ठीक है, plus 8.7 e to the power minus 3 minus e to the power minus 1. Okay, so that means 30 minus 6.8 into 3 minus 1 plus 8.7. Okay, अब ये तो e to the power minus 3 minus e to the power minus 1. Okay, now if you solve this, इसका जो वैल्यू आएगा that will be, okay, so this will be minus because I have bring this out of, this will be minus, ठीक है. So the value will be your 13.63 mm. Option number D. ठीक है. So as you can see, this is a little tricky question. ठीक है, इसमें आपको infiltration का value दिया हुआ है, and infiltration, first thing we have to check is whether the infiltration जो है उस whether the infiltration is greater than rainfall or not. अगर infiltration greater than rainfall है, उसका मतलब सॉरी infiltration less than rainfall है, that means there will be runoff. तो जैसे हम लोगों ने चेक किया during 1 hour after rainfall infiltration जो हो रहा है वो है 10, which is equal to actually 10.00 something, which is more than the rainfall. इसका मतलब क्या है, टोटल जितना रेनफॉल हो रहा है वो टोटल इन्फिल्ट्रेट हो जाएगा, दैट विल गो इनटू द ग्राउंड, कोई रन ऑफ नहीं होगा. दैट्स व्हाई यू हैव टू रिमूव दिस पार्ट एंड देन यू हैव टू डू द कैलकुलेशन. ठीक है, तो विल कंक्लूड हियर. लाइक ऑलवेज, अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगे, इफ यू आर लाइकिंग दिस वीडियो देन प्लीज काइंडली डू लाइक, कमेंट एंड शेयर. और अगर आपको if you want any modification, any suggestion, if you have any questions to the solutions, then it is my request, do comment in the comment box and let us know your observations. Thank you so much.